quiero aunque no quiera.
Puro chantaje, puro chantaje. Vas libre como el aire.
Is there any player in the
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Happy Valentine's Day. The chocolates have been eaten by Shaq, and the gift exchange is over.
By Kenny.
And thanks for the flowers, by the way.
You're welcome.
That was really nice. Ernie Johnson
You're my
alongside
Valentine.
Shaq and Kenny the Jet Smith. What's this?
My rose.
Oh, man, that's really. I'm going to hand that right over here.
Oh, you're my Valentine. Ernie.
You be mine. The fans are filling the seats in Orlando, the site of our broadcast, and where the Magic will be going up against the Charlotte Hornets. Checking out the Hornets, we've kind of waited and waited for this team to come together and start producing, but it just hasn't happened. And now we've gotten pretty deep into the season, so time's not on their side. Well, you talk about a player who needed a few years to adjust to the NBA. Kemba Walker has gone from solid to great in short order. He's really taken his team to the next level as well.
Yeah, he's improved his shot at every distance. His ball handling is wizardry and wizardry.
Wizardry.
It was wizardry.
How the heck you spell wizardry?
Well, it's kind of like wizardry with the saying it correctly.
With the G in it.
Yeah, but his scoring efficiency has really probably been his biggest asset.
Not only that, he plays to his strengths on the offensive side of the ball. And Kenny, I hate to disrespect you, I think he's the best guard coming out of New York. Hope you're not mad at me.
Well, Tiny Archibald would be. Or Lenny Wilkins would be.
Who they play for?
Oh, they would.
No, they were Hall
Out
of
of New
Famers.
York.
Oh, I
Just
never knew
Hall of
that.
Famers.
All right. Kevin Harlan, take it away.
But I'll give it to Kemba.
And thank you for joining us for this Valentine's Day presentation of the NBA. It's a matchup you're going to love right here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. DA will join us tonight on the sideline. Hornets coming to town hoping to notch one here in this one-game road trip. Try as they might, they've fallen behind the pack, but a chance here to reclaim some ground. It might be tough, but this is a team they're capable of beating.
And this has been a problematic matchup for them this season. They've come up empty in each of their two previous encounters. They'll need to find some answers here tonight.
You know, they don't want to go down 0-3 to these guys. I can guarantee you that. And because of that, I think we're going to see a tremendous effort from these guys tonight.
And before we get going, let's catch up with David Aldridge, who had a chance to talk with head coach Frank Vogel. David, what do you have to say?
Well, Kevin, he said defensively their main priority is going to be preventing points in the paint. He told me we can't let them get comfortable inside. That's what'll hurt us. He wants them playing a very physical brand of D down low. We'll see if they got the message. Kevin?
Thanks so much, David. There is no shortage of athleticism in this one tonight, Clark. Both these teams just incredibly athletic on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I agree with you there, partner. I mean, they cover so much ground, and they cover it quickly because of the length and speed they have as teams. I mean, excellent length on both sides of the ball in this one, and they play to their strengths, and that's length and athleticism.
Let's get a nice clean game, huh?
So the Hornets win the tip. And a look at the starters for the Hornets. Walker and Monk are the guard tandem. Down low, it's Kaminsky and Zeller. And it's Batum in at the 3. And a wide open look for Walker. Sinks the triple. Walker's got the first bucket of the night, a 3-pointer for the Hornets. Payton dishes to Fournier. And the pass to Gordon. Here's the screen. Gordon a screen to the middle. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
And Gordon's jumping ability combined with his reach make him a difficult matchup for any defense, especially when he's operating in the post.
Now here's Walker. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. about 1 minute into the first. Fournier passes to Gordon. Here's Isaac. Passes it to Fournier. Second chance shot. Here's Isaac. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. Over to the wing. And Nikola Vucevic is going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Oh, great defense there. Anticipated the play and got there first.
And not afraid to put his body on the line either, Greg. He took a shot for the team in that situation.
Monk kicks to Walker. Here's Kaminsky. That one's in. His first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2. Hornets on defense now. It's a 3-point game. This game coming on the heels of their win against Toronto.
And how about the points they put up? I mean, they were aggressive. In fact, at times overwhelming.
Hey, I agree with you there. I mean, they were in a really nice flow, Greg. Seemed like they couldn't miss.
Orlando shooting their first free throws of this game. And the first one at the line is good.
The former Arizona Wildcat, Gordon, is a high-motor player who gives great effort out there all the time.
So he makes 1 of 2 as the second one misses. And you look at Aaron Gordon, one of those culture setters, unselfish, defensive-minded, and Clark, he's a worker.
Yeah, he is that, and he also was very impressive going back to the 2014 draft in the interview process. Made quite an impression. Very precocious young man. A little bit ahead of his time and maturity when we talk about his age now. Stays grounded, even-keeled. This guy knows who he is and where he wants to go.
And here is Payton following the three-pointer by Nicholas Batum. Back to Payton. Good ball movement here by the Magic. And Vucevic kicks to Gordon. Clock at 6. Pulls it from 20. Hornets with the rebound.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
And Elfrid Payton with the foul. That's his first foul. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Monk kicks to Walker. Zeller setting the pick for Walker. Shot clock at 5. The tray. It's rebounded by Payton. The Magic trail by 5. Here's Vucevic. Another miss by Vucevic.
Gotta give the defense credit. That was a great contest on a high percentage shot in the paint.
Stolen by Gordon. Payton against Walker. No good there. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. Last time they met was in Charlotte.
And the big problem, they got trigger happy. Shot a very low percentage from beyond the arc.
And you know, Greg, to me that's baffling. I'm not sure why they didn't do some dine-in eating. Go inside and eat instead of all that work in the drive-through behind the arc.
Here's Payton following the score by Charlotte. Tries it from 9. Right side, Gordon. Second shot opportunity. It's blocked. Now, here's Monk. He's covered closely. And the layup's good off the glass.
We know he can shoot deep, but he also has a nice touch inside. So Monk has a lot of confidence wherever he's shooting the ball from.
And now the first timeout called here for the Magic. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
Really an intimidating style of defense. I mean, they challenged everything at the rim, and that led them to victory.
Greg, they expended maximum energy, but it was well worth it. I mean, they earned that win with their defense.
Here's what Orlando's going with right now. Biombo, he's checked in for Vucevic. Spates comes in for Isaac. Simmons checked in for Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line. It's going to be on Maurice Spates. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The scoring breakdown for Charlotte.
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passing. That could set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're showing some muscle also in the first half as well, and getting a lot of their points in the paint. Really like the balance they've shown.
Carter Williams against Augustine. And here is Carter Williams. That one bounces around and comes back out.
They hold the early advantage on the glass.
Yeah, nothing major, not a huge advantage, but certainly a good sign for them going forward.
Now here is Augustine. A 12-point game. Gordon got the loose ball, but that will be a backcourt violation. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for the Magic.
And you can see how big a role the three-point shot played in their offense. They were determined to spread the floor and just kind of open things up through their long-range game.
Dellavedova kicks to Carter Williams over Augustine. Again, Carter Williams missing. It's been a pretty tough stretch for them.
And this will be an important possession. It's really essential they put a stop to this run, and the best way to do it is by great execution.
For so long, the Hornets have been one of the most disciplined teams, Greg, in the NBA.
Yeah, you look at how this team takes care of the ball, and from the first guy to the last, it says something about how much pride they take in that. Minimizing turnovers goes a long way in terms of winning games. It's been a part of the basketball culture with the Hornets for quite some time.
Now here is Dellavedova. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Here's Augustine. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
And giving up some height, he just finds a way to carve out a little separation.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't back down from anybody, Greg. Effective at getting the room he wants and then gets his shot off in time.
On the wing, Batum. From about 19 feet, Simmons with the defensive effort. And so it's the Charlotte Hornets with a 10-point lead. Some breathing room heading into the break. Their defense has been terrific in this game. Back right after this. And we resume our Valentine's Day broadcast. Glad to have you with us. And when you consider how Charlotte is doing, guys, what do you think?
Just playing suffocating defense. That's been the difference here for them.
You know, Greg, I love watching this team get after it on defense. I mean, they play with a bit of edge and nastiness.
The Magic trail by 10, and a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So on the floor for Orlando, Bismack Biyombo is out there with Maurice Spates. Then there's DJ Augustine. Then it's Aaron Gordon, and it's Simmons in at the shooting guard position. Augustine, that's good.
Well executed, and then you love the strong finish.
Fantastic speed on the break. Speed kills, showing no mercy in transition there, partner.
Now here is Dellavedova. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Williams a screen. Dellavedova kicks to Batum. Up again. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. And the Hornets lead by 10.
You know, we talk about it all the time, guys. Those second chance buckets, always the result of that extra effort.
Gordon with no one around. No good on the triple. Gordon's gone 1 of 3 shooting so far. And stolen by Biyombo. There's the feed to Spates. And the slam dunk by Spates.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came upright with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
And so here's Charlotte following the bucket by Orlando. And it's blocked by Gordon.
Good defensive instincts there displayed by Gordon. Reading the shooter all the way and timing the rejection perfect.
Evan Fournier's checked in for Aaron Gordon. The Hornets also changing it up. Frank Kaminsky comes in for Cody Zeller. And Monk's subbed in for Nicholas Batum. And as great as Nicholas Batum is, the one issue he's dealt with, Greg, his entire career is staying consistent during games.
And with his skill set, it is hard for Batum to be completely absent. He can play, though, too passively at times when you know what he's capable of. And he's at his best when he is active and aggressive.
Basket counts.
How about the level of concentration Monk has, Kevin? I mean, despite the defense being all over him, he doesn't rush or get overwhelmed at all. Stays calm.
Now here's Spates. That's in. Augustine with the assist. Spates has got 6.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And Greg, you know nothing makes a coach happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
Dellavedova dishes to Monk. Williams a screen. Monk kicks to Williams. That 3 off the mark.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time. Not pretty. You just got to shake off a miss like that.
Now here is Dellavedova looking for his first basket still in this one. Monk kicks to Dellavedova. They set the pick. Pass to Monk. Feeds it to Kaminsky. 4 on the clock. Here's Stone. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. Well, Clark, you had the distinct honor of playing horse against the former president of the U.S., Barack Obama. You lost that game, I don't want to remind you, but I want an honest answer. Did you let him win that contest?
Kevin, the deal is that it was an unbelievable privilege to play POTUS. We changed the letters of that game back in 2010, and I let the president up. I gave him life after I had him down, and he took advantage of turning the momentum in his favor. He won fair and square. I did give him an opportunity to win, but he's on top in that matchup, and I think it ended up being good television. And while some of my former teammates look at me with disdain for having lost a horse game to the president, I think it was all intended to end just the way it did.
Now here's Fournier following the miss by Kemba Walker. Orlando moving the ball around. Another miss by Orlando. Charlotte leading by 8. Carter Williams the pass to Walker. Kicks it to Monk. Now here's Carter Williams. Outside, Walker.
He hit 1 3 in the first, but the well has been totally dry for him in the second.
Pass to Fournier. Here's Isaac for 3. Another miss by Orlando. Now Walker dishes it to Carter Williams. To the inside. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. 6 points for Frank Kaminsky.
Really hard to say enough about how good Carter Williams is at spotting the open man. He's got excellent vision and just a nice feel for what they're trying to get done in their offense.
And he's just a tough defender. Good positioning to get after that shot.
Did a good job guarding the mid-range, extended out nicely, and definitely bothered the shot.
Picked by Vucevic. Now the dish to Fournier. Pass to Isaac. Shot clock at 5. Off the pick. Rebound by Williams. Williams has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Here's Kaminsky. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Boy, he hit his teammate in the perfect spot. Led him easily to the bucket. That's what you call a room service assist.
Gordon's checked in for the Magic. Cody Zeller's checked in for Charlotte. Batum comes in for Monk. Payton kicks to Fournier. He dishes it to Gordon. He feeds it to Payton. Gordon a screen. Here's Vucevic. The Magic again can't hit.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen, got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
The Hornets shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game. First free throw is good. And so Zeller nails both of them. The Magic trail by 15. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. And Vucevic kicks to Fournier. Payton attacking. And he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up.
You know, even when Payton takes tough shots against good defense, you feel comfortable with it because he's so good at making shots through contact.
Here's Carter Williams. It's hauled in by Gordon. Gordon's got his third rebound on the night. Here's Isaac. Hangs. Oh, and the buzzer beater's good.
And they make sure to get the last shot of the quarter there. Nicely done.
Yeah, excellent execution that time, partner. Don't want to give the opponent any time.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, y'all. Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Things were going Charlotte's way from the beginning. Their energy offensively and defensive mindset triggered a 14-3 onslaught to start this game. After a solid quarter of play, they held a 10-point lead. And now, folks,
welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows. The Magic trail by 11. On the court for Charlotte, Walker and Monk are the guard tandem. Batum outside at the 3 with Kaminsky at the 4. And it's Zeller in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Payton against Walker. Payton kicks to Vucevic. Pass to Isaac. 4 on the clock. The Magic need to get a shot off here. They get it back, so the wing on the left. Out to Payton. The 3. It's rebounded by Charlotte. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points.
And out of the gates here in this second half, they have not started well. 0 of 3.
Pick by Zeller. They set the pick. From deep, Walker sinks the triple. Walker's got the first points of the second half up on the board for Charlotte.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe.
Maybe with that, the lid on this basket will be lifted for him. Well, you know, as the NBA continues to change, Nikola Vucevic is an interesting case study. He's got the skill level for today's game, but the question is, does he have the mobility? He's not that quick of foot, and that's been problematic for him.
Walker dishes to Kaminsky. Zeller setting the pick for Monk. And it's Orlando with the rebound. Vucevic has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Just a little over 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. He kicks it to Fournier. Payton passes to Fournier. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation.
And now a quick review at the numbers for Gordon. 6th in field goal percentage, and he's right up there in the top 20 in scoring. Certainly a force to be reckoned with offensively.
And back to his phenomenal efficiency from 3, top 10 in the league. His consistent shooting creates so many openings in the defense. Here's what Orlando's going with right now. Spates checked in for Isaac. Jonathan Simmons comes in for Evan Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. And more than ever before, the NBA requires big man to cover a lot of ground. Vucevic looking to keep up.
Yeah, Vucevic, I think, is really a terrific rebounder and passer, and you can see all of his positives. He can score on the block and make the three-point shot. I think it's just a matter of him consistently tying all of that together.
Stone's checked in for Charlotte. Gordon kicks to Spates. Takes it from 10. Almost, but it rolls out.
Tell you what, shooting 20% to start the second half doesn't bode well for how this will play out for this squad.
And it's Spates with the rebound. And now Orlando on the break. Outside, Simmons. And it's Vucevic in the corner. Takes a three. And the shot is good. The Hornet lead has been cut down now to just 10 points with that basket from Simmons.
Great pass that time by DJ Augustine.
Now here is Della Vedova. Guarded by Augustine. There's the pick. Shot by Zeller, no good.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on him.
That cuts the lead to single digits. Spates has got 8 points.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Here's Stone, guarded by Spates. Dellavedova with the ball. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Basket counts, and the Hornets lead by 10.
His shooting has been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Gordon with the screen for Augustine. He's looking for Gordon and finds him. And good! Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine. Augustine's got 4 assists now tonight. Here's Monk. The pass to Dellavedova. Shoots a three. Simmons pulls it in. And here's Augustine. Pass to Spates. On the wing, Gordon. Gordon with another miss.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole because he is just not there offensively.
Kaminsky kicks to Monk. And there's the feed to Stone. To the wing right side. A shot by Kaminsky. Nobody around. Over to the left wing. Three-pointer. Dellavedova. They get it back. Here's Zeller. And at last, they get one to fall. Zeller's got his second bucket of the night. And Augustine kicks to Vucevic. There's 47 seconds left to play here in the third. Feeds it to Spates. Kicks to Vucevic. That three off the mark.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, as they're looking to battle back, that's one of the key elements. You got to rebound.
Here's Dellavedova. Spates with the block.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Here's Stone. Inside, Kaminsky. Misses from close range.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Simmons dishes to Augustine. And here's Gordon from outside, off the mark. And so it's the Charlotte Hornets going into the break with a 10-point lead. Looking good at this point, but wanting more. We've got more in store for you right after this. Now let's listen in to Frank Vogel's huddle.
Play for each other.
3 quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. Hornets leading by 10. Payton and Fournier are the 1 and the 2. Isaac out there with Vucevic, and it's Biyombo at the center filling out the middle. That's who's out there for Orlando. Fournier against Carter Williams. Williams a screen on Fournier. Zeller passes to Walker. Shot clock at 6. The Hornets need to get a shot off here.
Outstanding D. Fournier using every inch of his reach to bother shooters.
Right through the D for the layup. Fournier's got it back down to single digits for the Magic.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
Biyombo with the block.
And this is something Biyombo excels in, timing and blocking shots.
Vucevic with the bucket.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Pick by Zeller. Pass to Williams from deep. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. Walker's got 3 assists in the game. The Magic trail by 9. Pick by Vucevic. Payton kicks to Vucevic. Back to Payton. Now here's Vucevic. Dishes it to Biyombo. It's Vucevic, top of the key. Pass to Isaac. To the middle. Tries again. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And Vucevic enjoys throwing his weight around now. At 260 lbs, he's really good at finding ways to get to the line.
And the Magic making a change here. Gordon's checked in. Hornets leading by 7. We're about 2 minutes into the 4th quarter in this one. Here's Carter Williams, and the shot goes down.
You really have to admire how well Carter Williams does in these situations. I mean, just so smart at making the right call.
Now Payton. Now the dish to Fournier. They set the screen. Pass to Isaac. Back to Payton. To the paint. Pulls up on the elbow. Here's Gordon. That one's not going to go. Walker with some nice D. Charlotte has gone 1 of 2 from 3-point range here in the 4th. All sorts of time. Again, the Hornets score. And Clark, as you've watched the game at both the college and pro levels over the years, what has been the biggest change for you in your view of that?
Well, you know what, Kevin, there are a couple of things. The athleticism, the real emphasis on training and strengthening the core, meaning from your kneecaps to your sternum. The work that's done to train the hamstrings and quads and glutes and that core area as a place of power, as your center of power, is one of the significant changes I've seen, not just in basketball, but all sports. And it's benefited the athletes greatly and the overall athleticism. And then from a playing standpoint or on the floor standpoint, I think the 3-point shot. I think that's been the biggest dramatic change in the game.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
During that break, Frank Vogel had some real words for his team. He was not happy with their shot selection, and he let them know about it. He said, we're taking low percentage shots, guys. Space the floor, make the extra pass, and work for those shots in the flow of the offense. Stay with the plan. We'll see if they can get it going.
Got a piece of it. And now, here's Batum, the fast break opportunity.
And Batum brings length and a versatile game to his spot on the wing. And his defense, always a big asset for this team. He's the kind of player that everybody needs to have out there, kind of a glue guy.
Frank Kaminsky, he's checked in for Marvin Williams. And Clark, we know that players are evaluated in a historical perspective, largely by how many rings they have. Do you think that's a fair way to evaluate things?
I don't think you can solely evaluate an individual player in a team sport by the number of rings he's been able to win. Clearly, it can be part of the criteria, especially if you're talking about great players who have had similar careers. It can be a differentiator. But to me, it doesn't necessarily carry the weight that some people like to give it in evaluating players. Individual performance over time is what, to me, marks the hallmark of a player worthy of Hall of Fame consideration or being talked about being one of the greats in the game.
If they want to, they can milk the clock just a little bit here.
Yeah, that's the best option.
Walker in the post, covered by Payton. Tries from 10, and the shot goes down. 10 points for Walker.
And that's his go-to move right there in the low post.
For 3, Fournier hits the 3-point bomb.
And Fournier has been an absolutely lights-out long-distance shooter. Every season he's been in the league.
Walker against Payton. And it's Walker penetrating. And no good that time. And Orlando will come the other way. For three, Gordon. That's in, coming off an assist from Payton.
Well, you can't let Gordon have room from outside. I mean, he's more than capable of knocking down those perimeter shots.
Up top, Walker, covered by Payton. Walker's shot is off.
No excuses, no explanations. I mean, got to sink that J from mid-range. Defense wasn't even paying attention to him. Come on, man.
Fournier for three. It's rebounded by Charlotte. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. And there's the pass to Kaminsky, the 17-footer. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. And it's Orlando's ball. They trail by 7. Gordon a screen. Sinks it. And now they trail by just 4.
Man, I got to give major props to the confidence of Fournier. This guy never backs down, wants the big shot.
And so it's Charlotte with it, and so they foul intentionally. Good on the first, and that puts them up by 5.
Tell you what, Walker is an exceptional scorer. I mean, a clever guard who wreaks havoc with his quickness and ball skills. Those foul shots put them that much more in the driver's seat.
Time working against them here.
It sure is, and with such short time, it'll be really hard for them to catch up.
And here's Charlotte, and so they choose to intentionally foul. So the first one drops, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's an 8-point game. Now a timeout called by Orlando. They're down by 8. 19 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Guys, what do you think?
And this is what happens when you dig yourself a hole. It's hard to climb out of.
Well, to me, they look emotionally spent.
Here's Isaac. Orlando gets it back. A 3 from Simmons. He can't get that one to fall. Carter Williams with it. So it's Charlotte picking up the win. And all right, David, thank you. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now.
Be mistaken with them statements that you make, so fresh and so clean, clean. You think I'm so fresh and so clean, clean. Nobody don't pass me. I'm just so fresh and so clean, clean. I love when you stare at me. I'm just so fresh and so clean, clean. Canary yellow, 7 eyes, a bit